All right, guys and ladies, what I am going to show you next is how to create this checkerboard pattern. Now, this particular one, I had tried to record a video on earlier, and it didn't work out. So I am going to just continue from here, but this could be like the bottom of your pouch that you've already started. So we're just going to ignore the bottom half of that. So the first thing you would need to do is go ahead and thread your weaving needle. And this is kind of the standard way that we've been doing this. Let me check my thread right quick, make sure it's the same color. Yeah, okay, or my yarn. So I'm just going to slide that little loop through, take this tail, push it through the loop, and pull. There we go. So you have to have two different colors of yarn to create a checkerboard pattern, and because I know for a fact that I started with the light blue on the last video, I am going to continue with the light blue on the bottom for this video. So I am just going to start by going over under, like so. I'm going to leave a short little tail there, about like that. I'm going to slide that down, and then I'm going to turn over to the other side and look to see what I did last. Last time it was an under, so I'm going to go over. So that is row 1 of the checkerboard, and now I just have to remove my needle from that yarn. And because I'm doing a checkerboard, I got to start with a new piece, because in order to get these colors to alternate, like light, medium, light, medium, light, you know, there's a medium under there, I have to switch my yarns every time, so that on the first pass, all the light ones are over the top of like the A strings. We've got A, B, A, B, A, B. So the light string will be over all the A's. So when I load this color, they will all be over the top of all of the B strings. So I don't like all of my yarn to start and stop on the same side. So because I started on this side with the light blue, I'm just going to flip it over and start with the medium blue on the back. I've only went one row on the back and one row on the front. So if I start on this side and do one row on the back and another row on the front, it balances out. It's the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that my string is starting on this side. And this wasn't over, so I'm going to go under. For my first pass of the medium blue, I'm going to leave a little tail. So when I flip those over, the last one wasn't over, so I'm going to go under. Like that. And slide those down. So you can kind of see how the color alternates there. Okay. So I'm going to take the thread off my needle. I'm going to pick the light blue back up again so I can do my second row of the light blue across the front and the back. And just like before, I'm going to do the opposite of what I did last. Last time it was an under, so I'm going to go over. Yeah, and notice that those overs are the same as that first light blue row. They're all going over the top of the same warp string. So when I pull this through for the front, and I kind of scrunch that down, you can see that they're already starting to line up over the same warp strings. Okay, so we'll flip to the back, get that out of the way. There we go. And I'm going to do the opposite of what I did last. Last time it was an under, so I'm going to go over. Yep. And I'm just looking at my needle and looking at that light blue yarn, and I'm making sure that they're doing the same thing because I'm using the light blue right now. So if I lay that down, scrunch the back, that is row number 2 of the light blue on the back. So now I'm going to pick up this medium blue again for row number 2 of the medium blue. Last time was over, so I'm going to go under. Slide that down so you can see how the dark blue is starting to happen. See, the dark blues are over the same warp strings, and the light blues are over the opposite warp strings. So, second row of blue on this side also. Let's see, my last one was an over, so I'm going to go under. If it'll let me, there we go. I'm just going to slide that down, make sure it's matching my dark blues, and it is. So I'm going to pull that one across, scrunch it down. Make sure that I already did my dark blue back there. Take my string off my needle, and this will be my last row of the light blue for this set of my checkerboard. Okay, and flip. Last one was an under, so I'm going to go over. Slide that down, make sure it matches my light blues, and it does. So I'm going to pull that through. If I really give it a good scrunch, you can see how those little squares are starting to form. Let's see, I've got 1, 2 of the medium blues. Now I always start on the right side, so I'm going to pick up my medium blue on the right side. Thread that back through. And my last one wasn't over, so I'm going to go under. Give it a good scrunch. Turn it over. And do one more row. So if you look really closely, I think you can see it pretty well. You can see I have 1, 2, 3 rows of light blue. I have 1, 2, 3 rows of that medium blue. If we look on the back, you can see I have 1, 2, 3 rows of the light blue. I have 1, 2, 3 rows of the dark blue. So if you check that against my work at the bottom, I've got 1, 2, 3 rows of light blue. I've got 1, 2, 3 rows of dark blue. So in order to make our two colors like switch places, we have to go around the loom one more time with the color that's at the top. Because what that will do is it will reverse the color of the strings that are on top of the warp. So, for example, if I go A, B, A, B, A, B, the dark blue is on top, or the medium blue is on top of all of the B warp strings, okay? If I go across the back and across the front again, that's going to put the blues on top of all of the A warp strings, okay? Because right now the light blue is on top of all the A's. But what I want to do is I want those two to switch places. And the only way to get it to switch places is to go across the front and across the back again one more time. So I'm going to pick up this same blue that I did before, because I've done 3 blues and 3 medium blues, and I'm going to go across, and then I'll have to get a new string, but then I'll go across again the front. So I'm going to thread this on here, and I'm going to go with a medium blue one more time. That. And I need to grab another blue. Is that the same blue? Yes. So I picked this blue up. Thread it on there. And go across again. I'm just going to make those two even. So I'm going to scrunch that down. And this back looks pretty good. So I went across the back and the front that second time with the darker blue. So now when I pick up the light blue again, it will have switched places with the medium blue that you see underneath it. So before, when I used the light blue, it was over the top. This time, if you look right there, it's going to be under. And that is what makes the checkerboard start to appear, is the switching of those two colors by adding that second row of that medium blue, or whatever color you're using. And you can already see that it's going to take over this row where the dark blue, the medium blue used to be. So I'm going to flip to the back, do my 1 row of medium blue, and I'm going to thread that through when I get my needle through there. So, whoop. Can't miss any. You definitely won't have a checkerboard then. There we go. Put that in there now. There we go. So, scrunch that down. And then I'm just going to do the same thing as I did underneath. So I've got a row of dark blue, the medium blue done, and then I've got a row of light blue. On the back I've got a row of medium blue and a row of light blue. So I'm going to pick the medium blue up and do a second pass over the top. Last thing I did was under, so I gotta go over. There we go. Take my needle off. Need another piece of light blue now. So grab it from the pile over here. I'm going to thread it on. Yeah. Because I've got 2 strings here and 2 strings here, I'm going to start my light blue over here because I've got 2 here, but I've got 2, 4 over here. So I'm going to try to keep it even by switching back and forth which side I start on. Because, you know, it's an even number of rows. I have to go 1 front, 1 back, and then switch. So I'm, you know, fairly confident in not ending up with like a double row or something on one side where I shouldn't have done that. So there we go. Slide that down. And last one wasn't over, so I'm going to go under. And that was my second row of the light blue. You see 1, 2, and I've got 1, 2 of the dark blue. So this is my third row of the dark blue. Keep calling it dark blue. I mean to keep calling it medium blue. I'm going to actually use a dark blue here in a minute, but so under, so this one has to go over. There we go. That was the third. That was the third row of the dark blue. So I have to do one more row of the light blue. There it is. Last thing I did was over, so I got to go under. And there we go. And there's that one. So that is the second set of checkerboard that I've done here. So I've got light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. Now, what I'm showing you guys is basically kind of like this, where I've got, you know, light, dark, skip. Light, dark, skip. Okay, light, dark, skip. So I'm going to show you how to insert this skip right here. If you didn't want like a divider between each checkerboard, you know, you could just keep going. You know, I did, for example, if you look across this row, I did light blue and red, light blue and red. And then when I got to the next row, I did red and turquoise, red and turquoise. And then the next row, I did turquoise and peach, turquoise and peach. Then the next row, I did peach and purple, or whatever kind of color combination you wanted to do. I mean, you could do it all like that, just, you know, light blue, dark blue, all the way up. Just keep switching. So if I was going to do this on here, I would just take, because I've got my 3 rows and 3 rows, if I wanted to switch those colors again, I would take this light blue around the back and then around the front again, so that my light blue, my dark blue switch places. But I like that divider of color in there. And I know from before, I have to do an odd number between it, because the first pass of the dark blue would be over, the second pass would be under, and then the third pass would be over again. And in order for me to get another set of light blue strings on top, like I had here, I need to be able to get that light blue on and over. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knot these just to kind of get them out of the way while we're working. And I just do, when I'm doing something like this, I'll just knot the 2 that are closest together. So it's those right there. That way I can trim them and I can get them out of the way and you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to do this one too. There we go. Trim those. I'm not going to need either of these for a few minutes. I might use them because they're good scraps, but these I'm going to actually tie around the corner right here. I'm going to tie the 2 medium blues together. And the two light blues together. There we go. Just trimmed those. All right. So I know I want to divide it with this darker blue. Okay. So in order to do that, I'm just going to start on the front. I'm going to thread my needle. And I'm going to do the opposite of whatever I did last. So right now, I'm kind of following the same pattern as if I were doing another medium blue pass. Only this time it's not going to be medium. It's going to be navy blue. So there's one. Same thing on the back. I'm following the path of the medium blue. That's two. Turn over. Now I'm going to follow the path of the lighter blue. So the last one I did was over, so I'm going to go under this time. So it was over, so I'm going to go, under. Just double checking myself there. In my head it sounded wrong. All right. I'm going to slide that down. Flip it over. Last time I went over, so I'm going to go under. Like that. And again, get a really good pack down there. So now when I look at the front, my next move is going to be an over. And if I look down through here, whatever color I start with next is going to be over the top of this warp string. So I've already established a pattern of light, dark, navy, light, dark, navy. So I'm going to go light next. Okay? And honestly, guys and ladies, that's how it goes the rest of the way up. When I get this finished up to here, I will stop and I will show you how to finish off this flap in a different video. It'll say, you know, finishing the flap on a pouch weaving. So I'm just going to continue my checkerboard up until I reach the point where the flap is. And then I will come back and I will teach you guys how to finish off that flap. But I'm going to pull one strand of blue through here just so you can see it before I end the video. So I'm going to pull the light blue through there. And if you look, it is over the top of all the ones right now, all the A strings, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep alternating that pattern until I get up to here, and then I will show you how to finish off that flap, okay? I will see you later. I know it's a long video. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Bye, guys.